Hello everybody and welcome back to Alarus Labs YouTube channel. As you may know, the new version has been released and we are going to list the most important features and changes. As not all the features and corrections will be discussed in this video, you are welcome to check the full list of changes in the release notes. Please note that you can turn on the subtitles for the video by clicking on the subtitles control in the YouTube panel instruments. Check out our Facebook and LinkedIn pages to learn more about our life and business. To enable writing off debts, the new invoice statuses have been added. Forgotten for direction, invoice from partner. Bad debt for direction, invoice to partner. This status can be set for invoices in the following statuses. Through the drop-down list, force invoice statuses located in the invoice edit form. When a new status is assigned, the following fields become available. Cancel debt amount, the amount that will not affect the balance. By default, the estimated amount is set. If the user specifies an amount, the Make Auto Mapping checkbox is deselected. If any mapping was performed earlier, it is removed, and the unmapped payment amount is distributed between the other non-mapped invoices, starting from the older ones. Or, if no non-mapped invoices are available, will be distributed in the future. Cancelled debt date, the date as of which the balance write-off will be affected. By default, the current date is used. For creating and editing payments, the new bad debt checkbox is available for confirmed payments. When enabled, the cancelled debt amount and cancelled debt date fields become available. When a full write-off amount is specified, mapping is removed from the payment and the Make Auto Mapping option is disabled. If only part of the amount is specified, the amount that is not written off remains mapped to the invoices. The new following permissions have been added to remove such payments. Redirection of calls initially sent to a DID number to a BIN number has been added to the following scenarios. DID forwarding, redirection from a DID number to the BIN number configured in the system, which can also be included in the DID numbers list. DID failover, call redirection to another BIN number in case of an unsuccessful call attempt to a DID number. Redirection is processed by the voice switch, currently Sensei only. For this, a call goes from a vendor loop product, a virtual product of a kind, and then arrives from the voice switch from the client loop product to be further routed to a non-DID number. To enable the feature, the new DID loop product type was added and made available to both the client and vendor directions, with the reverse charge option enabled by default. Also, the default value for the billing number options field is a number. The rate structure of this product type is similar to international rates. The following additional fields have been added to the DID management interface. Routing mode, the routing mode of a specific number, possible values, standard, the original DID handling logic. The routing module generates a list of routes based on the configured POIs list. Forward, the new forward fields become available to configure forwarding. The POIs list is hidden. The call routes will contain only the forward POI. Failover, the new forward fields become available to configure forwarding. The POIs list is also available. The call routes will contain both the forward POI and POI from the POIs list. The first on the list is a regular POI. The following new fields are available when the forward or failover mode is selected. Forward product, only vendor DID loop products can be selected. Product to which the call will be redirected. Forward POI, a list of POIs associated with the selected product. Forward NIS, B number for redirection. Only numeric values are allowed. Forward ANI, optional. A number for redirection. Only numeric values are allowed. Formatting of the SIP contact field for the format mode is performed as follows. Based on the routing results, the Sensei switch generates two CDRs. Call from the client to vendor loop product to the DID number. Call from client loop product to the B number for redirection. Formatting of the SIP contact field for the failover mode contains two routes and is performed as follows. Based on the routing result, the Sensei switch generates three CDRs for the mode. Call from the DID vendor's client to the DID number. Call from the client to vendor loop product to the DID number. Call from client loop product to the B number for redirection. The CDRs will be billed as follows. The original call from the client. Billing as per product settings. The client product type can be international, DID or US domestic. Same applies to the vendor. The original call from the client. Billing as per product settings. The client product type can be international, DID or US domestic. The vendor product has the DID loop type and is billed in the same way as DID products. Billing of a regular non-DID call. The new system parameter Dismiss Previous Year's Vendor Invoices automatically has been added, as well as the new Dismissed status, to allow ignoring vendor invoices. In this way, they do not affect the balance. The setting is disabled by default, in which case the status can be assigned manually using the False Invoice Status option that was previously called Dispute Status Override. The following values are available. When Dismissed is selected, the invoice no longer affects the balance. Please note that this status can only be assigned for invoices with the draft status. status. Also, the vendor invoice in the dismissed status can be confirmed, after which it will affect the balance again. For automatic assigning of the dismissed status, set the above-mentioned system parameter to 1. In this case, the new system parameter, the date after which the billing period is considered closed, will be taken into account. All draft vendor invoices before the specified date will get the dismissed status. To avoid unwanted changes to financial data for a past period, the new system parameter, the date after which the billing period is considered closed, has been added. The default value is null, which is the original system behavior. A possible value can be a date after which the period is considered closed, for example, the following date. In this case, no data for the year 2019 or earlier can be modified. A similar parameter has been added to the contract company's interface for more flexible configuration. The no modification after a specific date feature affects the following procedures: EDR recalculation, editing, removal of charges and payments for closed periods, registration of payments for a closed period. It becomes impossible. Changes to invoices for closed periods are allowed under the following conditions only. The invoice has the draft status. The user can confirm the invoice or change its status to dismissed, forgotten, and modify the invoice parameters. The invoice is in the disputed, dismissed status. The user can modify the invoice parameters. Important: the registration date must be set in an open period, otherwise an error will appear. Mapping of an invoice from a closed period to payments from an open period is allowed, respectively. Mapping of an invoice from a closed period to payments from a closed period is not allowed. Mapping of an invoice from an open period to payments from an open period is allowed. Also, adding charges to a closed period is allowed if the invoice is not in the forgotten or dismissed status. Possibility to automatically send rate notifications for client products has been added. To enable the feature, set the system parameter voice rate changes email auto send to 1 and select the send rate change notifications automatically option on the product level. Possible values are: do not send, default value, auto sending is disabled, send partial price list, send the changes only, send full price list, send a full list of rates. For correct sending of attachments, set the system parameter rate sheet delivery options to 1. If a rate is changed, the change event is placed in queue. Changes will be sent after X seconds following the first change from the queue, where X is configured in the parameter period for sending changes for voice products. If for some reason changes were not removed from the queue, they are stored in the queue for 2 periods set in the parameter period for sending changes for voice products. To send notifications to child products if parent products are changed, enable the system parameter send changes to child products if the parent products are changed. The new system parameter add contract company name to carrier name has been added. The possible values are 0, do not add, and 1, add. When enabled, carrier names will be shown with the contract company name. When exporting CDR/EDR from the Wholesale Portal, the export period is broken down into several parts in order to optimize the process, and a data table is created for each part. These can take up a lot of space in case of frequent export of large data amounts. To configure the system for creation of temporary tables, the system parameter use temporary files for CDR export to reduce redo generation has been added. Possible values are 0 and 1. The Show Vendor Product in the Wholesale Portal parameter has been added to the Partner Portal section of Administration System Settings. It controls the display of vendor products in the portal, for example in Statistics. The option is enabled by default. The Set Billing Account Manager button has been added to the Accounts tab that opens the Account Manager History interface for assigning a manager. The option is accessible to users having the Edit Account Manager History permission. In some cases, there is a need to search for a rate to a default number, for example, in case of billing by the A number when the number contains no numeric values or is empty. To enable this, the new system parameter default rate dial code has been added. Specify a numeric value in it and then create a rate for this value in a parent or child product. If the system fails to find a rate for a specific dial code, the default rate will be used. To disable the feature, set the parameter to null. Please note that the search logic for the default rate differs based on the rate inheritance mode. If rate inheritance mode longest match at child, the system searches for a dial code rate in the child product, then searches for the default dial code rate in the child product. After that, it searches for a dial code rate in the parent product and then for a default dial code rate in the parent product. If rate inheritance mode global longest match, the system searches for a dial code rate by longest match in both the parent and child products, then uses the default dial code rate from the child product, and after that the parent default dial code rate. Possibility to export a number-based rates for products have been added to the Rate Export interface. To activate the feature, select the Export-related tag rates checkbox, which is available in the list of products, contains at least one product with the enabled Check ANI tags option. The exported file contains 3 pages: the main page, the tag codes, and the rates. The columns are configured as usual in Rate Export column settings. For this, the page field has been added to the column settings interface. The field is available if product type International is selected and can take the following values. Based on the selected page, the following columns are available when the user clicks the Add Column button. For the main page, all original values are available. For the A number code page, the following columns are available. The columns available for the A number rate page are the same as for the main page, plus the tag name column. The following marker has been added for Rate Export. It shows a list of carrier-specific translation for the product's active POIs, active as of the export time. The marker is applicable to installations where the tag prefix is processed on the switch itself, and for this reason only translations for cutting prefixes during CDR processing is configured in the system. Import of tags has been enhanced in the Delete Matching Records mode. The due date column has been added to the Invoices interface for better usability and convenient filtering of information. By default, the column is not selected for display. The new system parameter client portal default in billing period has been added, which sets the billing period for a client registered at the campaign or wholesale portal. The default value is weekly. Possible values are the following. Similar to Alaris SMS platform, the Export to Excel option has been added to the Export Results View page, when Show Here is selected as the export target. The Export to MS Excel button has been added to the top table of the Swap Deals interface. The carrier and account columns have been added to the Numbers and History tabs of the DID Management interface. Similar to Alaris SMS platform, the Presets field has been added to the new compilation panel of the Rate Compilation interface in order to save the settings and use them again later. The system parameter symbols ignored in rate fields in Alaris SMS platform allows setting a list of symbols with no separator to be ignored during import for the rate column. The same parameter has been added for Alaris Invoice. The default value is the following. To activate the parameter after change, it's needed to relog into the interface. The due date column has been added to the Invoices interface. Previously, possibility was added to get the A number from the P-Asserted-Identity field if it was available in the SIP invite request and the from header equal to anonymous or empty. The logic has been enhanced. In the new mode, the from field will be verified for any non-numeric symbols. If non-numeric symbols are found, the P-Asserted-Identity field will be used. If both fields are empty, the routing module will thread the A number as empty. To activate the new logic, contact the Alaris technical support team and communicate the following code. Possibility to create rates with a zero or empty price has been added for DID products and close such rates with the help of the system parameter rate close markers. Support of short header names in SIP invite has been added. Now both the A and B numbers can be taken from the following fields.